From the art of the deal to keeping it real. Live from the Simply Vegas studios, it's The Power Move with John Gafford.
Back again. You know what, guys? I don't even know what episode we're on.
7.
Oh, no, it's not 7.
17.
I do know this.
Gotta be a 7
I do know.
40.
You know, we're still maintaining our north of 10,000 subscribers, which I like. So thank you very much if you are a subscriber to the podcast. This is The Power Move. I'm your host, John Gafford. To my left, we have Colt, the Mormon City Viper.
Oh,
That's what we're going with.
I like that.
Mormon City Viper. That's what we're going with today.
Good ones.
Yeah, I told you how to go with
that
today.
one.
I know how to go with today. How to go with today.
We're
That's good.
talking about the Mormons, and this is what he comes with.
I don't, no, we're not talking about Mormons, but I just you're from a Mormon
Utah.
town. You're from Utah, so there you go. Mormon town Viper. I like it. And as always, also the counselor Chris Connell. How are you, sir?
living the dream.
Living the dream, indeed.
sir.
Well, you know, today I want to talk about something on the podcast that we're going to talk about. We got some current event stuff we got to talk to, but the main idea that we're going to talk about today is resiliency, because I think a lot of people, you know, you see the memes with the guy digging for the gold, and then it's just on the other side, and he quits and like, I'm going to get a beer and all that stuff, and I think that there's a lot of jokes about it, but I think a lot of people don't realize that when you look at people that function at a high level or people that have great success, they do it through resiliency.
Absolutely.
One of the things when people talk back to my apprentice days that I was the most proud of, I've talked about it before on the show, is the fact that when, you know, they gave us personality tests to get on the show in the first place, and I tested higher in resiliency than any other candidate ever did. And I'm actually kind of proud of that when you look at the people that were on that show. I thought it was pretty good. So I want to talk about it today in detail, but there's a couple things we're going to talk about first. Obviously, finally, back to football. Let's talk about it. So Tom Brady did
talk about resilience.
Yeah, was he going to retire? Was he going to retire? Of course he's going to retire. He had to wait to get his bonus as it came up. But here's the question: did you see the retirement text? Did you see the Instagram text for Tom Brady retired?
I saw it.
Colt, do you even know what football is?
No, who's
Okay,
Tom
you know,
Brady?
who's Tom Brady? Exactly.
It's
not Tom Hanks.
He's not
Who's Tom
related to
Brady and why
Hanks.
should I hate him is the question you've got. I know. No. But the big controversy, obviously, is he came out and thanked basically every single member of the Bucs organization, down to the water boy and the person that handed him his jock every day, and made no mention of that other little football program that he happened to play with for several years.
New
England Patriots, or anybody else remotely associated with that.
And New England is mad, big mad.
I know they're huge mad about it. So
Big mad.
So here's the question. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a several part question. Number one, should Tampa Bay retire Tom Brady's jersey just to pour salt in the wound as quickly as humanly possible?
1,000%. Yeah. How do you not?
Yeah, you have
Should
to.
be today.
I walked in and got you a bowl. Who did you have? Jameis Winston or something?
Yeah.
Who was the guy before that?
I think they're going to get Jameis back, if you want to be
I
honest.
mean,
think
I
that's
don't
the best
know.
move.
They don't care. They got a vacation.
Jimmy
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think that's it. So if I'm the Bucs, I think I'm hanging the jersey as fast as I can just to pour salt in the wound.
And Gronk.
And Gronk retire them both.
Just to be a complete troll,
Yeah,
throw
but
up
okay.
the bees too.
Yeah.
Okay, does that begs the next question? How big of an asshole is Belichick? I mean, is it that bad?
I think they were both smart enough to know they needed each other
boy.
for a while, and I don't think that relationship was as strong as good as people assumed it was. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think people know, hey, we can be partners because we're making money together. I mean, it's just like band members. You see them on stage, you think things are great, and you find out they don't talk to each other for years.
Thank you for Oasis for keeping it real.
Yeah.
Just go and kill yourself right on stage.
But I think that's
Thanks,
I think
Oasis.
that's where it was.
Good.
I think they were smart enough to know, hey, we got a good thing. We're making a lot of money. We're having great careers. Let's not mess it up, right? But I don't think there was a love there.
It's John and I were talking about that yesterday. Actually, you guys were talking about, we do the handshake deals with the handshake deals.
No.
I'm like, I get that, but at the end of the day, though,
one of us was saying that in the meeting.
but when
not
you're
all
in
of us.
business together, you know, there has to be a certain amount of deference, right? Like these people that look at individuals in their organizations as pawns,
Yeah.
right, are impossible to work with. Belichick looked at you as an X and O.
Yeah.
Right? If you can do this for me, I'll keep you. If not, I will cut you faster than the day is long.
Yeah.
So he did that with all these players, right? He tried to trade away Gronk.
Yeah.
And Gronk retired to not be traded. But Belichick
I get the Gronk
so
thing.
he didn't develop any sense of interpersonal relationships with anybody. The first time he tried in his career was with Cam Newton.
Yeah. How'd that
How
work
that work
out?
Because if you treat people poorly, if you treat them as units of capital or labor,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to get any interpersonal connection at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I have no sympathy for that.
I feel like this is, we got to pivot away from this because I can see Colt I can see his eyes just rolling off, glazing over. But let's talk about, we try to educate you about things, how the world works. But you and I got an education this weekend.
Sure.
I think it was amazing. Connell and I actually went to our very first quinceanera, which was Colt's daughter, which was amazing, which was a beautiful event. There was a lot of things. What made it so cool, I think, for the gringos that were there, were we didn't know it was going to like it was like a surprise party for us.
Yeah,
because there's like a lot going on there.
Surprise wedding.
Yeah, it was like a wedding with no groom.
Well, it costs the same.
Well, that was the whole thing.
I'm sure it did.
So quinceanera for the gringos means 21, and that's the legal drinking age of Nevada. So we were plying Colt's daughter with liquor all night.
I was slipping her booze like crazy.
Quinceanera means what I'm told is 21.
Yes, 21.
So in Mexico, I think it's something else different.
Yeah, I mean something different.
So in America, quinceanera is a big deal because you can finally go to martini.
You can finally
drink.
Yeah,
You can get
Finally
drunk.
go to martini.
I appreciate both coming. I know it's kind of you guys all had early mornings and stuff, but man, the DJ had to finally cut it off. It got a little drunk fest.
But you know what I'm saying? I was so sick at one point. I looked at Gidget and I go, do you think I could just go lay down in the car? You guys finish this up. I wanted to go lay in the car. My cold, not from drinking. My cold was raging that night.
But quinceañera is very interesting. I mean, it's
Super
a
interesting.
huge deal. People don't realize, and it was funny leading up to it. Everybody, you guys included, but everybody. What do I wear? What's a gift? What's this? What's that? People haven't gone to it, and I think when I tell people wear a suit or maybe this is how much money I give them, I think people are like, really? And it's a wedding. It was costly.
It was legit.
Costly.
No, you can tell.
Mariachi was good.
Well, mariachi was good. You can tell though. That's big business, man.
Oh,
that cat that was running the whole brought the dancers and doing the announcements and stuff. And I'm getting the feeling that was like the third time they had done that routine that day.
Probably.
Oh my God.
It was a serious hustle on it. But no, it was a lovely event. It was awesome.
I appreciate you guys coming. And a lot of cowboy hats.
A lot of cowboy hats and sunglasses. I like that.
You know what's funny is that is something that people don't realize is how underserved sometimes markets are, right?
Yeah.
So you get this huge cultural event. I mean, that is you could buy a car probably for what you spent on the quinceanera.
We're talking.
I gave my daughter the option.
Yeah.
I told my daughter, I go, what do you want, a quinceanera or the car you want?
Literally the car you want, right? So she might still be able to buy one because at least you had a lot of guests there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
that's a good
you talk about underserviced markets, and I know you guys have done that with Clear Title.
That's smart. She leveraged you to get to us. To get the
she had to bag that
She's
thing.
getting
She got
them
a
both.
party and cash.
That right there.
That's
You know what
power
that is?
move.
Let me see if I have the power move. Yeah, that gets the actual horn
gets
power
you.
move noise. It gets the one.
But
good job, Mia. That's a power move.
You guys have done that recently with Title, haven't you?
What's that?
Walked into an underserviced Latino market.
Yes, we have. Yeah, that our office that we opened, we vertically integrated a Hispanic brokerage here in Las Vegas. I'm not going to say a brokerage is Hispanic because that's just stupid.
No, but it can cater and it can.
This particular company caters primarily to that demographic. They do a lot of their agents are Hispanic, a lot of their clients. In the first month we're open there, they opened 21 files last month.
You know what? It's just one of those things to me when people overlook those underserviced markets. Yeah. If you're going to walk in, find that niche that works, right? If you want to talk about a business lesson, my friend who's a prominent DJ in town, he's a Latino gentleman. And he
wait, what does he do? I'm sorry. What's his job?
He is a DJ.
Okay, no more sound effects. Now I know where it is on the board. I can't help but push it where I want to.
He manages a bunch of venues and stuff. So they had this one venue that was sort of underperforming as a thing. So he's like, no, we're making this Latino. Like we're going Latino night, whatever.
We're in.
Line up around the block now. Because if you cater to people that, here's the other thing though, Latinos know how to party.
Yeah, right. They know how to drink.
They know how to party. They know how to enjoy themselves culturally, right? Like it's a good time culture in my experience. So, finding those underserviced markets, I bet you there are a ton in this town.
Oh, sure.
Where people are not catering to them, other than maybe a handful of people.
Yeah, here and there. No, the guy obviously had the quinceanera down.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, there was pyro. Which, for the record, when it went off the first time, I was like, okay, we're going to have a straight up great white event in this place. Because this dude is bouncing repetitive sparklers off of a drop ceiling. I mean, a solid 60 seconds at a time.
It wasn't bouncing. It was
spraying into it. Yeah, it was gushing into the drop ceiling.
Fire hosing into the ceiling.
I definitely look for the fire.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have that, and then the floor was moving. You guys, like I said, left, but the dance floor got crazy, and it was moving. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to collapse the dance floor. It was interesting, but no, the niche market, and sometimes people don't realize how. I mean, my wife does very well, and a lot of it's the Hispanic community, right? But I always see Hispanic agents trying to get away from that. They want to go do $1 million deals, and the story I always say about that is I knew a guy in California. He was a number 3 agent and all of Coldwell Banker in all of California. Number 1 was some guy out of La Jolla. Number 2 was Malibu. And you got this guy selling little properties in Indio, California.
Doing volume.
And he just volumes. But they'll refer you 5, 10, 15 different people.
Loyal.
You know, loyalty, because, you know, it's like if we go to Mexico and want to buy a property, we're probably going to look for the guy that speaks English and whatever, you know. So
I'm on day 700 of Duolingo Spanish. I would love to have had
Chris was doing good. I took Chris the opposite. We kind of had, you know, the English-speaking crowd over here, Spanish-speaking crowd.
There was definitely a line.
And Chris went over there and had fun.
It was like the Rio Grande right through the middle of that party.
Yeah, it was. So I went straight to...
You went straight over the border?
John Wayne over there, and I went to go hang out with the...
we found out they had like all Don Julio 19.
They had all the good stuff,
Oh, they were hiding the good stuff.
All we had to do was hablar un poquito español.
And all of a sudden,
got the good
tequila came out. Chris stayed for a while. Your daughter was super cute.
She was having a blast.
Oh my God, that's my little buddy.
Fun time.
That's my little buddy.
Yeah,
well, you know what? You educated us about quinceanera, so thank you very much for that. But Connell educated me and you this week about something, and I got to tell you, if you are an NFT person, which, you know, I support a couple of NFT projects because I actually know the people that are running them. That's fine. But if you want to understand the blockchain or NFT, this was the best thing I have ever seen on it, because I don't think this guy has a dog he doesn't have a dog in the hunt.
It was it was an objective
Dude, it is objective. Go to YouTube right now and Google "line goes up, the problem with NFTs." And it was jaw-droppingly shocking. And when you start to see this guy unravel, you know, the purpose of NFTs, what they're for, what they're, the real idea behind it. And you know, essentially what he's talking about is I had no idea how clunky the blockchain actually was. So everybody's like, oh, the blockchain's going to replace everything. Guys, it don't work that well.
Really eye-opening.
Yeah, it was eye-opening how, you know, you think it's exact data and everything is thing. Guys, there's times when you can have 2 separate validators validate the data on the blockchain and create a split, and then which one's right? You don't know.
50,
and you can't fix
There's
things.
no court of law.
You can't delete stuff. There's nobody to appeal it to.
If your nudes are leaked on it,
dude,
it's in there forever.
This is exactly what I thought. Because at one point they're talking about, which things I didn't know about this. If you have a wallet on like MetaMask where they're saying you should put all your medical records, if you have somebody's MetaMask address, you can just drop an NFT into their wallet and put a virus in it that can nuke everything else in their wallet. So imagine this. So I get a picture of, let's say, Kim Kardashian, you know, doing whatever with whatever rapper of the week, and I put it in an NFT and I drop it in Kanye's wallet.
Yeah,
it's stuck there because he can't delete it, because if he opens it, it nukes the whole. It nukes everything. It is crazy the exposure you have now. The general consensus of this entire thing, and I really, really like this, because this guy broke down and was very, very, very sad.
Very well educated.
Very well educated. About,
it was not short.
This is a 2-hour video.
2 hours.
2 hours. I watched the whole thing. It was enthralling. But essentially, he's talking about, you know, you look at the reason for NFTs is because the way that crypto works, it's not like cryptocurrencies in themselves are not like a central banking where they can add more currency out. You need some demand in so people can pull profits out. So they're like, we need a vehicle to force people to buy cryptocurrencies.
So that we can turn our
crypto into money and get it out. And essentially that's what it is. So look, am I saying that there's force? And then they talk about the cult of personality that NFTs have become. And you walk through the Wall Street Bets mentality where they're like, you know, all these guys are like, you know, disillusioned with the future, and this is their chance, man. This is the chance. This is the one chance they have.
The rampant middle class.
The rampant middle class. And if you think about some of the places we've been and some of the meetups we've been to, that's the guys in the room. Like they perfectly describe the entire crowd of these NFT meetup things we've been to. It was all of these guys.
It was spooky, actually.
All of it was.
How accurate.
It was dead on accurate. The thought process, the socioeconomic background, the education level, the reasons for it.
You can't criticize this because you're just a loser. If you don't understand
it,
you just don't get it, bro.
Idiot.
You just don't get it. You don't get it, bro. You don't understand.
We sat here in this room a couple weeks ago talking about, no, I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't think you understand why I get
it.
And what you're not seeing is Eminem's not going to hang out with you because you have the same thing that he does, okay?
Right.
It's who's a greater fool. And Eminem can throw $500,000 away into the ether because someone says, hey, this might appreciate the $4 million because there's people that want to be in this club and they may get together, whatever.
Yeah,
so he can take a flyer.
I think, again, I can't stress it. I want to say it one more time. Line goes up, the problem with NFTs. Keep going, Colt.
No, I was going to say, I think that, we've been through a lot of market crashes. We've seen stuff, right? And I think we're all three business people that look at stuff as show me A, a tangible good, or B, common sense of how this goes. Right. And common sense to me, I always tell people, I get what you're telling me. Yeah. I don't get what you are telling me because tell me the exit plan. Like we always say, it's a hot potato game. And
that was the consensus.
It's going to be... you're going to make your money. Some of these guys, if they're smart, they'll get out just like in the 90s.
Will,
yeah,
50%
like the internet bubble. A lot of
burn.
people got out of it, and they're worth still a lot of money. There's a lot of people that didn't, lost everything. And I think that's what it is one, is that going to happen? Is that tomorrow? Is that in 3 or 4 years? Who knows? But people always just assume we're smarter than everybody else. But guess what? Like the Goldman Sachs, all these people, they're watching this. They're dumping money in, and they'll be the first thing.
Like it's the little stuff too, man. That's so scary. Like the thing that I thought was the scariest about it was like you look at like even like the Good Morning, Good Night in the Discords. Like if you're in a Discord, do you realize that the Good Morning, Good Night that is programming you, and it is done on purpose.
Cult-like.
So if you are in a Discord and you're using GMGN, Good Morning, Good Night when you're in a Discord, you have been programmed, my friend. That was done to you. That's not courtesy. That's done for a reason.
You know what's really also smart, John? How he pointed out that this is not a zero-sum game.
No, it's not.
So you always think, okay, we said this too, and I make the mistake of thinking, okay, half the people to the last sale that goes down are going to get burned.
Yeah.
But all this whole crew, 2/3 of it are going to get burned because of gas fees and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, because
fees on top of it and inefficiency.
Again, that's the inefficiency of blockchain and how easy it is to manipulate because it's not regged. Because, like, for example, when your gas fees are sky high trying to make these trades, a lot of it is because there's bots in there running the damn fees up because the guys that control, like, the whole purpose of crypto and all of this was to deregulate and get away from the man. Guess what? They're already running all of this.
The man's in there.
You just don't know it.
Right.
It's like, it's worse than that because you can't see it. And it's just, it was so eye-opening for me. And look, if you want to make money in NFTs, God bless. I hope you kill it.
Best of luck.
I just don't want you to be the guy holding the hot potato and understand. Go into it with your eyes open.
You're kind of cheering against somebody when you say that, though, right? Like when you think about it, you're like, hey, I hope you can rob enough banks and not get caught.
Right.
To me, I go,
you're going to smoke somebody. Yeah, just remember, if you're winning,
like
somebody's going to lose.
Somebody's
going to lose.
There's somebody in the end of the bag, right? Yeah. And it's all, you're not selling any value or whatever. You're gambling. So if you want to take that gamble and you say that we're all soldiers, it's like when the mafia kill each other, right? You knew what the game was, you got involved, so maybe I don't have a ton of sympathy for you. Right. But there's a lot of institutions now promoting to elderly people, hey, you should have 5% of your portfolio in crypto.
I heard somebody say 10% the other day, and
but again, why are they saying that? Because the banks
are people that trust you to do the right thing.
But again, the banks and these they're already kind of
get out.
They're behind the scenes. They need you to put your money in because they need their money out.
It's a grift.
People, we always talk about it. People have no idea how much money is out there, and there are funds that can move markets. Whether it's real estate, whether it's stocks, bonds, it doesn't matter. Like, they can move markets, and if you don't think they're in the NFT game, the Bitcoin game, you're nuts, right? They're in the marijuana game. They're in everything. Like, these guys when you have 40 billion behind you, you can change markets, right?
Look at Blackstone and New Homes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do? Compete with them?
No, you can't.
No.
You're dead.
They can move that market. They can move it way, way up. So
yeah. Anyway, well, that's enough about NFTs. I think everybody should, if you are investing in NFTs, even if you're doing well, I think you owe it to yourself to watch that, to understand
a strong perspective.
You got to treat it like a good gambler.
The problem is I try to be fair and balanced in my thought process. I've only heard the people and friends that I have that are making money and we're doing this and I'm going to make $1 million in NFTs and I'm killing it and blah, blah. That's the only people I've gotten my information from. Right. And this wasn't even presented in a way that this is just the reality of some of this math. And it really does pattern the economic crash. It really does. It's crazy. But now I want to skip over and talk about what we really want to talk about for the episode today, which is resilience, which we talked about. So, I think people really loved the other day when we kind of started breaking down Stoicism a little bit. So this is a book called Resilience by Eric Greitens. I'm not going to, of course, read it. We're just going to discuss the high points of it. Yeah, I think.
Can we talk real quick about
Colt, the answer is yes. Whatever whatever's going to come out of your mouth, you can say yes.
Well, that's stupid, right? Have you noticed everybody's like small town? Who gives a shit if you're off the platform? Neil Young's the biggest person. No, who's the other one? Was some guitarist, right?
Can I tell you the only thing that pissed me off about that? Did you see the articles this week when they were saying, Spotify's stock crashed because of Neil Young? Dude, every online service provider stock crashed.
Everybody crashed.
Neil Young had nothing to do with it.
That's not where I was going. Where are you going? Can we just say that probably the worst song ever made is Journey's
Don't Stop Believing.
Stop Believing.
No.
Song.
Nope. I know the worst song ever made, and I can tell you right now.
Well, it's top 3.
Makes my skin crawl just thinking about it.
No.
4 Non-Blondes.
What's up?
Oh, what's going on? Whatever it is. What's going on? Dude, I hate
really? That's interesting.
That song? Built This City by Starship.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. No. Oh,
no, that's on the same level as Journey's.
Unlistenable.
So Journey's Don't Stop Believing is so awful because it's the cringiest white man anthem ever made. And it just has this thing about, there's this website called What White People Like.
No. Number one song that gets the bros going. What is it?
Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
No. I disagree.
What would you say?
Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
No.
You throw Mr. Brightside on the bro, they go
my
crazy.
dad will start going
Journey's
and then they'll be like,
think?
it's a Journey by a mile.
All right, okay.
Mr. Brightside might actually be number 2, but Journey is, and I don't like.
I'm shocked that you're defending Journey. I thought you'd have some sort of hatred.
It just got so overdone. It was so overdone. People pretending like it's their favorite band. Like, it's not a cool band. This is like saying Europe in the Final Countdown is your favorite band.
No.
Whitesnake's my favorite band.
You know what it is? If you're a person of a certain age, as I am,
right?
I'm older than all of you. You weren't at the skating rink shooting the duck in a couple skate change direction. That was the pinnacle of your young adolescent life, was going to the skating rink. Anybody that did the skating rink, man, that music. Dude, you throw me some the OG Def Leppard on? Dude,
I had Def Leppard shirt. I remember when Journey came out. Right. Journey's of my era. Okay. I was young, but I remember it.
Did they have the skate? What was the ice skating rink?
Well, it was the snowball making competition.
Up in the
But at the end of the day, it's not that I had a problem with Journey in 1986. My problem with Journey was 2006 when The Sopranos came out, and then everybody rediscovered this goddamn song, and it never went away.
Is that like the worst?
It was a 20-year break where I hadn't heard it.
Well, it's Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. Same thing.
Dude goes around a skateboard drinking.
I do like that song, but after I'm like, all right, enough of it. Everybody stop putting it on your
It's just when it's overdone, it just became this white man anthem for like frat boys in the 2000s. Yeah. Right? And it was like, why are you doing this to me?
I think Limp Bizkit had that market cornered pretty much, I think.
Oh, man. I would have
some days old now.
Throw some break stuff on your end.
Start believing
you want to break stuff anyway.
Yeah, I want to hear some Limp Bizkit.
Colt, where else were you going? Are you done with random topic?
Do you need me to fill time now?
No, we're actually now we're going to get started because we're going to lose. Where are we at here?
23.
Where are we? 23. I got it. Can't see this. All right. Well, let's talk about this.
Good
call. So resilience. Let's talk about that. Yeah, just sideline the show as he always does. First step to building resilience is to take responsibility for who you are in your life. If you are not willing to do that, stop wasting your time reading this. The essence of responsibility is the acceptance of consequences, good and bad, of your actions. Personal personal accountability is everything in life. If you are not willing to accept that you had something to do with your wins and you had something to do with your failures, it's done.
It's weird that you mentioned that when we were specifically talking about Joe Rogan, who came out with that 10-minute statement where he goes, "Look, I'm not trying to put out misinformation. But I need to do better. I need to do better at balancing perspective because I have a platform and it's this and that. I didn't mean to, but it turns out that I take responsibility for it." I thought that was huge.
Loved it. I thought it was great, and I thought it spun the whole narrative on its head.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think people do it.
Yeah.
I still like Neil Young and his music.
Yeah. I'm good with it.
He can dislike what I had to say or whatever, and I take responsibility for it. But I still like you, Neil Young. Yeah. And you know what that does?
Yeah. It makes him the bad guy.
Which just like, I don't need to hate my haters. I don't need to put more hate out in the world.
Need the energy.
We talked, we were talking about that too, that like we talked to my daughter, people don't shit talk up. People don't shit talk down. Yeah. They shit talk up.
100%.
And so if somebody's talking mad smack about you, it's because something about you has triggered an insecurity or jealousy in them. And so when somebody's talking bad about you, think about it that way. They're really actually, there's something missing. But more important, I'm going to take that one step further into the realm of personal responsibility. Because, dude, I've talked shit about people before. Everybody has. And I've tried to get a lot better about it later in life. And the reality of it is now when I feel the need to talk smack about somebody, I say to myself, let's be honest about, what is it that they have that I'm somewhat jealous of? And then if this is an interesting little exercise you can do next time you feel the need to do this. Ask yourself, what do they have that I'm actually sort of jealous of? And then do one of two things. Look at the flip side of the coin or figure out how to get it. Because, like, for example, like sometimes you see people and they're out all the time partying. Like, oh, look at this guy. He's a drunk. He's always out doing this. And the reality is, if you're married, but if you're married with kids and home responsibility, you kind of miss that freedom. So when you look at that and you feel that twinge of jealousy, like this guy just can go out and do whatever he wants and blah, blah. And then you're like, yeah, but he probably wakes up by himself a lot.
Yeah.
He's probably home alone a lot. So you got to look at the flip side of the coin. And I think if you start bringing it down like that but if it's something that they have that you don't, maybe instead of talking smack, maybe reach out and say, hey, dude, that's awesome. How'd you get there? Help me get there. So swallow the ego a little bit and do that.
Swallow the ego is number one. No, the only people I've talked shit about in the recent history are Jackson Mahomes and Brittany Matthews.
Oh my God!
Okay.
Horrible. Sometimes people just deserve it. Dude. Sometimes they just
not because
that's going to cost his brother millions.
It's literally because these are what awful people look like, and I don't want their behavior modeled ever again.
He'll cost his brother millions.
And when I see a guy out drinking and partying, I don't talk shit about that guy. I go, man, I remember that. Yeah, that was a great time.
It's not like I sit here and look for that either, but I'm just using that as a rough, great example.
It is 100%. Like I sit there and there's some people on social media that bug the shit out of me. I'm like talking crap, and I'm like, you know what? Good for them. I am jealous that they can go act a fool on social media because I won't. Right?
Well, dude,
good for them. That.
One of my most famous quotes from The Apprentice that I got paid was, "Dude, it's to live by." Stop pointing the finger, start pulling the thumb. Yeah. If something goes wrong with you, instead of looking for the outside source of what caused the pain, look inside to what you could have personally done.
What can you do about it?
What could I have done differently to make that
Or what can I do about it, even if I don't like something? Right? Because if you have legitimate grievances.
Well, that brings us to this right here, which is what happens to us becomes part of us. Resilient people do not bounce back from hard experiences. They find healthy ways to integrate them into their lives. In time, people find that great calamity met with great spirit can create great strength, which I really dig.
You're either winning or learning.
Yeah, dude. You don't try to shuck things off. Use that pain. Learn the lesson and get better.
Either win or learn.
Yeah, that's it. Get stronger. When we're struggling, we don't need a book in our hands. We need the right words in our minds. When things are tough, a mantra does more than a good manifesto. I love this. I always say,
yeah, I get that.
No, I dig this because I always love to say, education without action is entertainment. And as great as Colt segues are in Colt, they are fabulous. I mean, they're just spectacular. And we try to be entertaining. Like, if you don't actually take something that you hear here and put it into actual practice, it's worthless. You're not really going to get anywhere. Right. So
hopefully, if you're listening, take that We Hate Tom Hanks and go do something with it. Go to his Instagram page.
Do not. No.
Go to Twitter and let him know.
You're going to get some psycho who's going to go injure Tom Hanks now, and then we're going.
Colt.
No. I got a counselor. Can you disclaimer on that?
Colt Amidan do not reflect the power move or the associates therein.
Yeah, that being said, words, guys, words. Go use words.
Oh, God. Use your words. There you go.
Team Hanks. Team Hanks.
But I think that, again, prepare for things to go poorly. Prepare for, make a decision that, look, if something happens to me next time something bad happens to me, what am I going to do? How am I going to react? How am I going to talk myself through it? You don't have to have an actual circumstance in front of you to do before you make a decision on how to handle it. I always tell people, it's like in real estate when we deal with clients. The reason that our clients are so happy with the agents that we have at Simply Vegas and how they're trained to work is we walk through every projected pretty much scenario of what could happen in the deal, good and bad.
Sure.
And then because it's much easier for them to agree to a hypothetical scenario than one that's actually in front of them. And then once they've agreed to that hypothetical in a previous conversation, if it comes up, it's easier to go back to that previous decision.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with yourself. Like, you've got to have a process that you develop in your head to deal with stress and deal with problems.
Priming.
You've got to prime yourself. And if you've never really thought about it, now might be a good time to think about it, because we're right at the break. So we're going to give you a break. We're going to come back, talk more about resiliency and how you can apply it to your everyday life. And then Colt's going to probably I'm sure he's going to take us somewhere.
I got a lot of things on my mind.
Yeah, he got a lot of things on his mind, guys. So you'll definitely want to come back. We're back in a minute. Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout.
2 hands.